As Carl Sagan noted in his famous observation of Earth from the edge of our solar system, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of exists on but a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. But more than that, those we know and love exist within ourselves, as the impact they have on us can often determine our own course through life. For as long as I can remember, my mother was the stable force in my life. We lived in a very dangerous neighborhood in Indianapolis called Hallville. Even though we were poor, she still made sure that we lived as comfortable and fulfilling a life as possible. She instilled in me a passion for culture, education, and the environment. She was my rock and confidant. I followed in my mother's footsteps by attending IUPUI. I majored in biology because I found the sciences so interesting. However, I became bored with biology and bounced from major to major, from history to education to criminal justice. I found myself looking for something to pique my interest. While challenging, these majors didn't fulfill my desire to understand human nature. During my search for a more satisfying major in the winter months of 2011, my mother disappeared after a hiking trip along the shores of Lake Michigan. After her disappearance, I connected with many other families suffering through the same grief and uncertainty. My shared experience with these families strengthened my desire to understand human behavior and emotions. Sadly, my mother's story ended like many others do, furthering my resolve to understand the behaviors and emotions in the face of such tragedy. I can think of no better field of study than psychology to give me the insight I desire. After experiencing this profound loss, I began to see the real value in my studies. I was able to connect my experiences and the experiences of others suffering loss to every psychology course and theory that I learned. Studying psychology helped me understand the emotions that I was going through. I learned that others have experienced similar loss, and the knowledge they overcame such grief gave me hope. With this personal connection to the principles of psychology, I found myself more driven than ever to succeed academically. Beyond academics, I began to realize that I am a resilient person and that I am lucky to have this trait. I also came to the realization that others may not be as fortunate in that regard and may need more guidance in handling the difficult emotions that accompany a profound loss. I also began to value relationships with others more than ever. As a mother, I found myself encouraging the same love of learning and knowledge in my son that my mother had strived to instill in me. Most of all, through both my experiences and the study of psychology, I learned that we may lose those people or things in this vast world that we hold dear, but we can overcome those losses, often with the support of others, and take away a much greater appreciation for the things we gain.